Okay, so before we consider number 31, kindly subscribe to our channels and please put on the notification bell so that you'll be notified as soon as a new content is uploaded. So let's go to number 31. Which of the following factors is not biotic? I just said moments ago that a biotic factor is talking about a living component of an ecosystem. A scavenger is definitely biotic, because an example of a scavenger is a vulture. A predator, lion are predators. Even human beings are also predators. That's a biotic. A parasite like tapeworm is also biotic. The correct answer here is salinity. That's talking about how much salt is present in water body. So the correct answer for number 31 is D. Salinity is an abiotic, not a biotic factor. Let's go to number 32. In the decomposition of organic matter, the nitrogenous or carbon compounds formed are dash. A. Released into the atmosphere and soil. B. Usually converted to pollutants. C. Evaporated and condensed to form rain. D. Combined with fluid in plants for transpiration. The correct answer for this is option A. Organic matter and nitrogenous waste and carbon compounds are always released into the atmosphere, and some of them are released into the soil as nutrients to be used by plants. So the correct answer for number 32 is definitely option A. Let's go to number 33. The organism with the greatest amount of captured energy in a food chain containing a bird, tadpole, spirogyra, and fish will be dash. The correct answer for this is spirogyra. Spirogyra will actually have the highest amount of captured energy. Don't forget that spirogyra contains chloroplast. Because of that, it exhibits autotrophic nutrition. It can manufacture, it can trap energy from the sun to manufacture its own food. Don't forget that as we go on along a food chain, the amount of energy that is available to the organism gradually decreases. So spirogyra here will have the greatest amount of captured energy. The correct answer for number 33 is C. Let's take a look at number 34. Which of the following processes is not involved in the carbon cycle? We know that decay occurs in the carbon cycle. Respiration occurs in the carbon cycle. Not only that, photosynthesis occurs in the carbon cycle, but transpiration does not occur in the carbon cycle. Transpiration only occurs in the water cycle. So the correct answer for number 34 is D. Transpiration. That is not a process that occurs in the carbon cycle. Let's go to number 35. The greenhouse effect could be reduced by the use of dash. First of all, what is greenhouse effect? Greenhouse effect is that gradual increase in the atmospheric temperature, and greenhouse effects are caused by a lot of emission of greenhouse gases. Example of greenhouse gases are carbon dioxide, methane, even water vapor. So let's look at the options. Renewable energy, wind vanes, steel, petroleum. So the question is, greenhouse effect could be reduced by the use of wind vanes. Now, a lot in Nigeria, for example, majority of our electricity are derived either from coal and also from gas turbines. And we know some of these gases are also methane. And I mentioned methane as one of the culprits that are responsible for greenhouse effect. But in advanced countries of the world, people are now moving away from petroleum or fossil-based fuel to energy derived from wind. So they are now wind-generated electricity, and wind-generated electricity do not release any amount of greenhouse gases to the atmosphere. So the correct answer for number 35 is B, wind vanes. Let's go to number 36. The most effective method of dealing with non-biodegradable pollutant is dash. Let's first of all consider what a non-biodegradable pollutant is. Now, there are two types of pollutants in terms of either they can easily be broken down by microorganisms or not. Let's take a look at metal scraps or glasses or ceramics. All of them, metal scraps, plastics, rubber, ceramics, all of them are examples of non-biodegradable pollutants. That is why around our environment, everywhere is littered with plastic because microorganisms cannot break them down. But let's look at sewage. On the other hand, sewage can easily be broken down by microorganisms. So we refer to sewage as biodegradable. So if we want to deal, the effective method of dealing with a non-biodegradable pollutant is to recycle them. So if a person uses something that has a metal, instead of throwing it away to the environment, therefore littering and creating pollutants leading to soil pollution, that particular metal scrap could actually be remelted and then another material could be made from it. That is what we refer to as recycling. So the correct answer for number 36 is recycling. Let's look at number 37. A maize field with a total area of 100 meters squared contain 60 locusts. We know locusts are pests. Determine the population density of locusts. We know by simple definition, population density is the population divided by the area. So we know that the population of locusts is 60. So that's going to be 60 divided by, we have been given the area of that particular habitat, 100 meters squared. That's divided by 100. This goes here, that becomes 6 all over 10. And we know that 6 divided by 10 is going to be 0.6 per meter squared. So the correct answer for number 37 is B. Don't forget, population density has the formula population divided by the area of that particular habitat. Let's go to number 38. The process by which organisms in the habitat struggle with one another for the available resources is called dash. That's competition. When organisms, remember that in an ecosystem, in a particular habitat, there are never sufficient amount of resources for the organisms there. So there is always a constant struggle among the organisms for the limited resources. So that process where organisms in a habitat struggle with one another for the available limited resources, we refer to it as competition. And we have two types of competition. The competition that takes place among organisms of the same species, we refer to them as intraspecific competition. Whereas, for example, the competition taking place among mice. Mice is the plural of mouse. That's because we are talking about mice, the same species. That is intraspecific competition. Whereas a competition between, say, humans, for example, and other animals, that is interspecific competition. That is competition occurring among organisms of different species. So once again, the correct answer for number 38 is option D. Let's go to number 39. Which of the following methods is not a soil conservation practice? Contour terracing is definitely a conservation practice. Strip cropping is also a conservation practice. Contour plowing is also a conservation practice. So obviously the correct answer is animal grazing. When animal graze on a certain area of land, they will remove the plant covering that particular land and therefore exposing that particular land to erosion. And we know that erosion will bring about the depletion of that particular soil, and that is not a way of conserving the soil. So the correct answer for number 39 is option D, animal grazing. Let's go to number 40. The diagram below are illustrations of body parts of some animals. We are to use them to answer questions 40 and question 41. So we can see canine teeth of a lion, the horn of rhinoceros, and then the skin of crocodile. Let's take a look at number 40. The illustrated body parts makes the animal, that's the correct answer here is option B, endangered because of their economic value. There are a lot of people who kill lions not because they actually want to maybe eat the flesh, but because of the money they will make from selling the canine from these lions. The same goes for rhinoceros. They are killed for their horns, just like people actually kill animals like elephant because of their tusk. So these parts of these animals makes them to be endangered species because of the economic value that people get from these parts of their body. So the correct answer for number 40 is B. Let's go to number 41. Which of the following measures will be beneficial to the animals? The question is basically asking us, how can this animal, because we know that they are endangered, how can they be preserved? The correct answer here would be option A. Government can enforce laws that bans the harvest of the said body part. If there is a law that no person should kill or harvest the body part of these endangered animals, that will preserve these animals and prevent them from going into extinction. So once again, the correct answer for number 41 is option A. Let's go to number 42. Which of the following characters exhibits both morphological and discontinuous variation? Don't forget, another name for morphological variation is continuous variation, while another name for discontinuous variation is physiological variation. And the correct answer here is fingerprint. Fingerprint doubles as both morphological and discontinuous variation. Let's go to number 43. A person whose blood group is AB can receive blood transfusion from dash all of the blood groups. Don't forget that blood group AB is also called universal recipient. What that means is a person with blood group AB can receive blood from blood group A, from blood group B, from blood group AB, and from blood group O. And the reason is because blood group AB lacks antibodies. Even though blood group AB possesses both antigen A and antigen B, it doesn't have any antibody, and that means that clumping or agglutination that occurs when similar antigens and antibodies mix together will not occur with blood group AB. So the correct answer for this is any blood group. Okay, so before we go to number 44, kindly subscribe to our channel, and while you're at it, put on the notification bell so that you'll be the first one to be notified when we have a new content like this. So let's move on to the number 44. Which of these discontinuous variation is used in crime detection? A. Blood grouping. B. Ability to roll the tongue. C. Ability to taste PTC. By the way, PTC stands for phenylthiocarbamide. And D. Skin color. We know that variation, one of the applications of variation is it is used by law enforcement agents, police, and what have you in crime detection. Imagine a person goes to rob a house and in an attempt to escape injures him or herself. Now the blood left at the scene of the crime will actually be used by detectives to track down who the armed robber is. So the correct answer here is blood grouping. Don't forget that fingerprint can also be used in crime detection. Let's go to number 45. The normal structure of a DNA of a DNA molecule could be changed through dash. The correct answer for this is mutation. Even by definition, mutation is that sudden change in the structure of a gene or chromosome. So the correct answer for number 45 is option D. Let's go to number 46. Which of the following organisms was used by Thomas Morgan in genetics experiment? Thomas Morgan used what we refer to as fruit flies, also called Drosophila melanogaster. So the organism that was used by Thomas Morgan in his research in genetics is fruit fly, which is also called Drosophila melanogaster. Option A is the correct answer. Number 47. The eye defect that is caused due to loss of accommodation of the eyes is called dash. We know that we have different eye defects, but the eye defect which is caused due to loss of accommodation of the eyes is what we refer to as presbyopia. Don't forget, accommodation of the eye is the ability of the eye to focus on both far and near objects. And the reason why a person might not be able to focus on both far and near object is when the ciliary muscles that are holding the lens in place has lost their elasticity. So loss of elasticity of the ciliary muscle can bring about loss of accommodation, and loss of accommodation of the human eye causes a particular eye defect called presbyopia. Presbyopia is usually predominant in aged people. It doesn't affect young chaps like it does affect older people. And the way of correcting presbyopia is by using a bifocal lens. Let's go to number 48. A person with blood group AB can receive blood from all other blood groups. This is because blood group AB, in the course of this class today, I've mentioned the fact that blood group AB is a universal recipient. And what that entails is it can receive blood from every other blood group. And the reason for that is the absence of antibodies A and antibody B in blood group AB. So the correct answer for this is option D. Blood group AB lacks antibody A and antibody B, and because of that, it can receive blood from all other groups. Hence, blood group AB is often called universal recipient. Don't forget, blood group O can donate blood to all other groups, and that is why blood group O is also sometimes called universal donor. Whereas blood group O has both antibody A and antibody B. On the other hand, blood group O does not have any antigen. So the correct answer for number 48 once again is option D. Blood group AB lacks antibody A and antibody B. As a result of that, it can donate blood to all, it can receive blood rather from all other blood groups. Let's go to number 49. The long neck and legs of the present-day giraffe formed a basis of the Lamarck's theory of evolution. You remember that in Lamarck's theory of evolution, he brought about the idea of acquired characteristics being transferable. Although that's fallacious because that has been proven to be wrong. He was the one who spoke about the reason why giraffes always have this long neck, because they have to stretch their neck to be able to browse on top of trees. And that was true. But the only mistake, the only fallacy in Jean Lamarck's theory is the fact is when he asserted that acquired characteristics, that is, the long neck of the giraffe can be passed on to their offspring. That has been found out to be wrong. It's just like saying that a fighter or a wrestler, the muscle of a wrestler, when a wrestler gives birth to a child, that particular child will inherit the muscles of that particular wrestler. That is just not true. So the correct answer for number 49 once again is option D. Let's go to number 50. The adaptation for defense in bees is dash. Obviously, that's option C, stinging. When a person invades a beehive, you can see that the bees will defend that particular their colony by stinging that particular person. So the defense mechanism in bees is stinging. Let's go to number 51. Spirogyra reproduces sexually by dash. Now, Spirogyra is one of those organisms that can reproduce both sexually and asexually. The sexual mode of reproduction in Spirogyra is called conjugation, which is option C. Now, it is instructive to note that just like Spirogyra reproduces sexually by conjugation, the same thing, Mucorrhizopus, they also reproduce sexually by conjugation. So the correct answer once again is conjugation. But if the question is asking about the fact, if the question was structured like this, Spirogyra reproduces asexually by, the correct answer would have been fragmentation. So Spirogyra reproduces sexually by conjugation, whereas it reproduces asexually by fragmentation. In the case of binary fission, bacteria reproduces asexually by binary fission, whereas fungi, for example, reproduces by sporulation. So the correct answer once again for number 51 is option C. Spirogyra reproduces sexually by conjugation. Let's go to number 52. The cell organelle which removes water from the body of a protozoa is definitely option B, contractile vacuole. The function of contractile vacuole is osmoregulation, and that entails the removal of excess water from the body of a unicellular organism like a protozoa, like an amoeba, for example. So the correct answer for this is option B, contractile vacuole. Let's go to number 53. The cell organelle that stores genetic information is dash. That is the nucleus. Genetic information are stored in the nucleus because we know that the chromosome of eukaryotic cells are present in the nucleus. So the cell organelle that stores genetic information is definitely option D, the nucleus. Let's go to number 54. The causative organism of sleeping sickness is dash. As a matter of fact, another name for sleeping sickness is trypanosomiasis. From that, we can see that the correct answer for this is option E, Trypanosoma brucei. So the causative organism of sleeping sickness is that particular protozoan called Trypanosoma brucei. Let's go to number 55. Sunlight is necessary for photosynthesis because now we know that we have, during photosynthesis, we have the light stage, and then we have the dark stage. During the light stage, sunlight is necessary because light is necessary to break down a molecule of water into ions. Basically, what happens is, during photosynthesis, water molecule will be broken down to hydrogen ion and hydroxide ion. We refer to this process as photolysis. So looking at the options here, the correct answer for this is option D. Sunlight is necessary for photosynthesis because it splits water into its ion. We can see water being split into the ions, hydrogen ion and hydroxide ion, by a process called photolysis. So the correct answer for number 55 is option D. Let's go to number 56. A fertile soil is one that, the correct answer, considering all the options, is option A. A fertile soil is a soil that has adequate humus and mineral salt. Any soil that has adequate amount of humus and mineral salt is referred to as a fertile soil. So the correct answer for number 56 is definitely option A. Let's take a look at number 57. The feeding relationship between a bacterium and a leguminous plant is dash. Now, an association between a leguminous plant and a bacterium is a mutually beneficial association, and such an association is called mutualism. At times, it is also called symbiosis. That is an association whereby the two organisms mutually benefit from one another. So the correct answer for this is mutualism. Another example of mutualism is the relationship between a bacterium, a fungus rather, and an algae. We refer to it as relation. Algae and a fungus, they form a symbiotic or a mutualist association in relation. Not only that, mycorrhiza is another symbiotic association between a fungus and a fire or flowering plant. So once again, the correct answer for number 57 is C. Let's go to number 58. The aquatic habitat with the highest concentration of salt is dash. Out of all these options, it is the C that has highest salinity. Salinity is talking about the concentration of salt in water body. So the correct answer for number 58 is C. C, out of the options here, have the highest salt concentration, which is called high salinity. So the correct option is option C. Number 59. Which of the following is a waterborne disease? Looking at the option, the obvious choice is cholera. Cholera is one of the waterborne diseases. And if you look at the rest of them, chickenpox is a disease caused by a virus. Common cold or influenza is also a viral disease. Measles is also another viral disease. So also is smallpox. So chickenpox, common cold, measles, smallpox, all of them are caused by viruses, whereas cholera is caused by a bacterium called Vibrio cholerae, and cholera is an example of a waterborne disease. So for number 59, the correct option is B. Let's go to number 60. The element needed for the formation of chlorophyll is dash. That is definitely magnesium. An element that is needed by plants for the formation of their chlorophyll is magnesium. The correct answer for this is option C.